From water deep to Icewind Dale, unlikely friends fight tooth and scale. A little faith, a lot of rage, to bring the summer back again. Now roll the dice, see how they fall, don't waste your action. Bonus action. Heroes, tortured and trapped within the mist, hunted by horrors from out the abyss. We've seen friends fall, but must endure, survive to see the sun once more. Now roll the dice, see how they fall, don't waste your action. Heroes.
One. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello. Welcome. How's everyone doing?
Oh yeah, I'm Pop Ping.
I can feel sneeze coming.
I can't decide if that's better or worse than Pop Ping.
We were having a little discussion beforehand, weren't we, about language and some of the interesting words in other languages, and how most modern words for things that are new are just the English word, but there are some exceptions. Pop-de-ping. Which is, sorry Steve?
Microwave, but really, I mean, it's just, what do they call it? Onomatopoeia, isn't it? That's just the sound it makes.
Yeah, I guess so. There you go.
I still like the German for butterfly because of just how angry it sounds.
Oh,
like Schmetterling.
Schmetterling.
I like the German word for ambulance, which is Krankenwagen. Just it's
Hospital, Krankenhaus.
Krankenhaus, yeah. Wonderful.
Brilliant.
I always like German because I can't speak it. I've only been there twice passing through. And though I didn't speak it, I found I could understand some of what people were saying, but I wasn't sure why I could. But yeah.
There are a lot of similarities, actually.
Yeah, that's because English has stolen words from every language in Europe, right? So, out of the abyss, we return. The heroic party have become strong now. They are making waves in the Underdark, freeing Blingdenstone from its past, opening up previously lost parts of the city, and indeed finding the teleportation machine, shall we call it, and deciding to head out with Derendil to a place called Nelrindenvane to attempt to return him to his people. They arrived in the beautiful woodland kingdom, relieved, I think, to find that it was real, where they approached realizing they were a party of drow and whatever Serdi is, Dwergar, Fae,
Orcaras,
and Shadakai. They realized that they may have to be cautious entering the city, but eventually they did enter, with Derendil using the information that he knew, naming his family and his sisters. The guards escorted you to a beautiful palace, almost organic, grown from the very forest around it, and led you into a great hall. I think in the meantime, Grim was invisible, following a short distance behind. Derendil had already warned you that the great hall prevented invisibility, so you chose not to enter. After a time, Derendil's sister escorted him upstairs after some conversations about their youth and him accidentally shooting her with a bow when she was younger. And Grim followed and saw her leave him in a room and then order the guards not to allow him to leave. The sister, Tanathel, then came back down to you all in the Great Hall and demanded to know how you knew so much about her brother, and that he was not missing, and that she had had breakfast with him that very morning. So we shall pick up there. In front of you is the Princess Tanathel. She's beautiful. She's probably about 5'6", 5'7". Blonde hair, blue eyes, pointed ears. Her clothing is very fine, but in the style of the Wood Elves. And she's waiting for your answer.
Okay. We're as surprised as you are. It might be that our Derendil is more cursed than he thought he was. Or there is the potential that your Derendil isn't your Derendil.
Explain, please.
Sorry?
Explain. How would my brother not be himself?
Oh, I fear this is going to make things more confusing to try and explain. So, if your our Derendil is who he says he is somehow either had his form changed or had his consciousness put into another form, which is very possible because I am an example of that. I am a fae with the consciousness, well, of my own. I am me, I'm Tink, but the body of somebody else. Although I am getting memories of that previous form, so that's slightly confusing. And I mean, if you take Serdi, he
Which one's
he was a
Serdi?
kobold.
Which one is Serdi?
We are
these-
Serdi.
The Golem.
So-
You've taught your Golem to talk.
Well, no, he used to be a kobold, and now he's been sort of, I don't want to say possessed, that seems like such a negative word.
We are
Who is in you?
Parla and we are Serdi.
So he is still himself, but he is also got someone else's consciousness in him, or something else's consciousness in him. And I think what we are exemplifying is that there is some crazy shit going down in the Underdark, and therefore it is very possible.
Sorry, have you ever listened to yourself?
What?
The
What?
things you are talking about are... You're a fae with the consciousness of your own. What does that mean? We all have a consciousness of our own. What? Yeah,
Yes,
I
I should have the
and now-
consciousness of the previous form.
the previous form. So you're from the Underdark? Or are you
I
not
think
from
we're
the
probably
Underdark?
getting hung up on
You have a drow
the-
with you,
the minutiae, but
and I hear someone walking around, but I can't see them on the stairs, so I assume you have someone else with you, spying on us.
Well, we weren't sure about the reception.
Just for our protection. We are not holding anything back from you.
Well, I will be
We have
honest.
seen people pretending to be other people in the Underdark. There's been a demonic incursion there, and the succubus has already taken in, briefly, the king of the Durgar.
So you're suggesting that my brother had his mind plucked from his head, placed in a whatever that was, and then replaced with a succubus.
We don't
Suggesting
know.
the possibility,
is the short
No.
answer.
not accusing anyone of anything, but just there's clearly something going on here. We brought Derendil here, our Derendil, because we believed that this is where he belonged, and we have done so in good faith to help a friend who's proved to be a trustworthy and solid companion, and have no reason to doubt him until now. You mentioned that Derendil, your brother, is here still, so we're merely suggesting possibilities, and again, in earnest.
She stands and seems to be examining you each individually. If you do have someone invisible, they can come out. You won't be harmed. I mean, I'll be honest, if I was going to make up a story, I don't think I would make up that one. That sounds very far-fetched. You're still outside the hall, aren't you?
I'm still upstairs. I'm waiting with Derendil as long as I can.
Okay.
Make sure he's safe before I run downstairs and change back.
Okay. I'll fetch my brother, shall we?
Oh,
Which
I don't
one?
know about that, because what if they are a succubus? What if... Do you have one of those... I really wish Malice was here. Some sort of magic that makes you see that we're telling the truth. Or forces your brother...
You read my mind. You read my mind. I can see if we can find a priest or a cleric or perhaps a paladin who can do such a thing. I don't have it to hand. It's not magic I can work personally, but it's possible. I assume you don't have the means.
I'll look around at the party. I don't know that. I don't know that invisible person. Who isn't even in the room.
But you do know that I'm a paladin, and they have just mentioned paladin.
Yeah, but she might not want you to do it. So you just...
We can double layer it. We can both have someone who does it if need be.
Let me send for my brother,
double bag.
and I will fetch an item which I think may be able to help us.
Can we ask, where is our Derendil?
He's in a room upstairs. He won't be harmed. But I am very curious to know how he knows so much about this place. How he even got you here. How did you get here?
We use the teleportation circle.
How? It's been closed for years.
We powered up the adjoining circle from the city in the Underdark.
There's only 2 cities in the Underdark that had teleportation circles that link to here.
Was one of them Blingdenstone by any chance?
Is that where you're
'Cause
claiming to come from?
That's where we came from.
It's where we came from. And we got here because of our Derendil's knowledge of the location. None of us have been here before. It was his ability to think of this place that allowed the circle to operate, as far as I understand it. At least that's what we were told before. So, however this has happened, he clearly knows this place.
She seems to soften a little bit. I mean, she's not very tall. She's not imposing. But there is a force behind her that you can kind of feel. Let me fetch my brother. Please do not leave the hall. If you have anyone else with you, go and retrieve them. That you won't be harmed, as long as what you say is true. And for some strange reason, right now, I believe you, because if you were going to make up a story, I think you'd come up with a better one than that. It's so ridiculous.
Something a bit more believable.
Yes,
right?
It's so ridiculous it might just be true. Do you need refreshments?
I can't deny I appreciate we're imposing on you enough as it is, but the Underdark is awful for food.
Very good. You see her talk to one of the guards. Will you fetch my brother, and on the way back, if you just pop to the kitchen and have some bread and cheese and wine sent up. Just something simple for now. Some fruit, perhaps. You see the guard nods his head and disappears off. I will return momentarily.
Is Grim within 120 feet?
Yeah, probably. He's up, but yeah, I would say so.
I assume there'd be a bit of a Grim, no response, and then I will cast message and say, Grim? I'm not sure where you are, but you can come back. They know you're here, and they seem to be willing to hear us out.
You get no response. Grim will, in his invisible form, look both ways down the corridor, spot the guards who were waiting outside the room with Derendil. It feels weird to leave Derendil alone, but Captain has told me to return. Oh, I'm torn. After a second, I'll start slowly tiptoeing as quietly as a fully armored dwarf can down the hall and down the stairs. Find a spot somewhere where I can drop the invisibility and then head into the hall.
Okay. You will see Grim appear around the corner of the door, walk in.
Where on earth were you?
Well, I didn't want to leave the lad, did I? So I was gonna stay there. They've got him locked in a room. There's some guards. I don't
Oh,
want him to get in.
no, that was good of you. But I think that his sister heard you.
Well,
So,
what noise?
I think it would attract more suspicion if you didn't show yourself. Did he? But he was fine. They haven't hurt him or put him in chains or anything.
It ain't right, whatever's going on here. I don't know what it is, but they don't trust him, which I get. He's a Quaggoth, but I don't know. I'm worried for him. Lad's been through
Me
enough.
too. Is he far?
Well, if you go out here and then round there and then up here and then over there and then up these stairs and then he's down a corridor about 3 doors.
It's about
You can tell
120
by the
feet as the crow flies.
If you go directly that way.
Bit tricky if we need to make a getaway, but good to know where he is. What do we know that you don't know? Oh, no.
You know that the brother's alive and here.
So, she's gone to fetch her Derendil, who she said she had breakfast with this morning and is her brother.
So then who's our Derendil?
Which is where the
Who's that
tension
here and
comes
there?
from, and suspicion. So we're trying to understand that and not rock the boat too much. It's clear why they're a little anxious.
And is his sister who he says she is?
We don't know any of that yet.
Right.
Do you have the ability to do that spell where you can tell if someone's lying?
Yeah, of course. I'm a paladin,
That
aren't I?
could be handy.
I cast
Oh.
polygraph.
She's gone to find a cleric. But it would be good to have that word backed up.
Yes, Captain. Do I call her princess, or has she got some other title?
I'm not quite sure.
You can roll me a history check if you want, Tink. You were Fae. You have some distant. You're effectively a distant ancestor of the elves.
13.
You think that they just call princes and princesses in Elven Kingdoms my lord and my lady, and kings and queens your majesty, very similarly to Fey courts.
Then I think the proper term is my lady, although I don't think we've been using that and she hasn't picked us up on it yet. But we should try our best.
After about 5 minutes, you see like a group of elves come out, male and female, dressed in beautiful but modest clothing, clearly not royalty. There'll be one or two of them carrying plates of food, just very nice looking bread, cheeses, grapes, fruits, berries, jugs of wine, and then there'll be another two that are literally carrying a table, place it down in the hall, which is relatively open. They will place the food down, they will bow their heads silently and just leave. And as you're looking at the fare, the cheese here is not blue. It is
Wensleydale.
It's now Rindivale. I don't know. And you just hear a very familiar voice. Oh, brilliant cheese! And you see this young elf again. I think you would know, Tink, that he's probably about 150, 160, maybe. But the voice matches, but the face does not. He is blonde, very symmetrical. Again, his clothing is almost that of a ranger, but it is very, very fine and very, very pristine. And he gives you a big smile. I no idea why my sister wants me here, but pleasure to meet you all. I assume you're guests. It's very rare we have. Wow, yes, a drow and a dwergar and a fey. Please eat, please. It's a pleasure to meet you. I am Prince Derendil, first in line for the throne of Nelrind and Vane, and who might you all be?
Pleasure to meet you. I am Jago Sevatar. Well, we have all travelled together here. Quite a collection of... Anyway, we should probably wait for your sister to explain the reason for the gathering. But anyway, it's a pleasure. I'd like to make an insight check if I could.
Please do.
Where is insight? There it is. Oh, 24.
What are you trying to read?
Okay, so is there anything about his demeanor that may, and any facial expression that may have changed at the mention of the word Underdark? Anything that may think that he's hiding anything, or not saying exactly what he thinks is okay. There's some guests in the course, and he's just taking it at face value.
Okay, yeah. Well, you mentioned the Underdark. You don't. There's like he seems intrigued. He does.
Okay.
It's not like you've said something that was no. Yeah. It was more like a ooh. Underdark.
That's strange. Yeah.
And he's got a mouthful of bread and cheese, and he'll be like pouring a glass of wine. Oh, you should really try this wine. It goes beautifully with this cheese. And he's a prince, but he starts pouring it into glasses and hands them out. Underdark, you say? I've always wanted to go. Never have been. I hear it's very, very dangerous. You You live there, do you? All of you?
That is right, sir. Sorry, your lordship. I'm Pilgrim Wargrace of Gracklestug.
Grackles Stoog.
It's a pleasure to meet you. And then I'll back off
I
behind him.
really want to hear about Grackle Stoog. What is that? Is it a pub or?
No, sir. It's a place.
A place.
There's a great city in the Underdark.
Wow, what's it like?
Law abiding.
Oh, wow. I wasn't questioning your honesty. I'm sure it is.
Oh
We all
no, sir. It's law abiding to a point of oddity, sir.
yes,
In
people,
comparison to the other places I've been, your lordship.
Are you saying it's not a very free place?
Oh, it's free. Just don't haggle. If you make friends, then I know the right people. It's a lovely place, sir. Your lordship.
we have a lovely house there.
It's not mine yet, but it will be. It's my father's.
Oh, forgive me. This is a beautiful house, but I was merely mentioning our house in Gracklestug.
Oh, you have a house there. You don't seem. You don't seem. You know, your Hjalgrim. Did you say your name was? Pleasure. Always good to cross cultures. I think, don't you? I love to hear about how things are in other places and exotic lands, and it's marvelous. And this stone fellow, what's he, or she, or they? I apologise. I don't know the proper way to address you.
Well, you may call us Serdi or Parla.
Which do you prefer?
I have no preference. We are both.
We call him Serdi.
Serdi. Okay. Well, that's fascinating in itself. Very unusual. Why did you say we? Is that your preferred pronoun?
I never really thought on it, but we're both here. We're more than one.
Are you?
I'm not sure why we
Where's the other one?
are this way, so
Where's
it's
the other
hard to
one?
explain. Here, we're both here.
Oh,
Two consciousness inside one body.
that must be confusing. And noisy. And you, my lady, you have an air of the Fae about you. I think that's no secret. You're kind of smaller than you should be, though, aren't you?
What makes you say that?
Well, I can see you, but I can see you as well.
Oh, fascinating.
It's like
Well,
a
this might
shadow.
explain Serdi's position somewhat. You may call me, and I would prefer you call me Tink, your lordship.
Tink.
But you may alternatively call me Orphane, if that's a name that you are familiar with.
Orphane, yes. Oh, it's a fine name. Ages old, I understand. Would you prefer Tink?
Yes.
Which,
What
may
you're
I ask
seeing-
which court you are from?
I don't remember.
It's strange, you have dark hair, but your shadow has red hair.
Oh. Wait, is that Wendelin? That's very confusing. Similarly, there are two. I am essentially two people in one. We've all been affected by magic in a very peculiar way, and we are hoping your sister can provide us with some assistance.
I'm sure she can. She's brilliant. She is best wizard in all of this forest. To be honest, she is incredible. This is it's such a pleasure to meet you all. And sir, I don't know where you hail from? You're an elf, Mr. Sevatar, I think you said your name was.
Yes.
Where are you from?
I'm
Are you two
also
people
from
as well, or are you just one person?
no one person, two places that just stay on theme.
Hmm.
But yeah, I've resided in the Underdark for most of my life. But let's just leave it at that. Let's avoid confusion.
Oh, very well. I mean, it's very rare we have Drow here. He's very quiet, isn't he? He's eating away there. What's his story?
You see
You see two people.
her, and I'll point at the hook, alright?
How did I miss that?
Jesus Christ!
That's
God!
his ex-girlfriend, and she is two people.
Well, that's kinky.
Have you ever seen a horror before?
No. What is it? Is it a machine?
Well, it's based on a creature from the Underdark.
This
that looks very
Underdark.
similar.
Oh, that sounds fascinating. I'm very excited to meet you all. I'll arrange for you to have rooms. You can stay with us. Guard, how many is it? Does the Horror stay in a stable, or does it need how does that work? Does it need a
With all
oil
due
change?
respect, I think Yasva would appreciate a bed if she would be permitted one. It has been a long time since she has been treated as the drow that she is. because of
She's a
her
drow as
inferior
well.
form.
I clearly wasn't listening. She's a drow as well. So
Hmm.
two drow. Are they going to overthrow the kingdom? And
Oh no, these are good drow.
Or are they going to overthrow the Drow Kingdom?
I mean, you know the story of the drow. They were banished to the Underdark because they betrayed Elvenkind and the gods. And yes, their goddess is wicked, and not in a good way. She is a horrible player of games, a weaver of chaos. So yes, this is brilliant. God, a room for each of these fine people and the Hook Horror. Yasva, you said her name was. Yasva, this fine creature is Yasva.
With all respect, my lord, your sister did ask us to wait here. She seems quite tense, and we are here to find her, to ask for her help. Perhaps we could stay here for a while until she returns.
Okay, well, I didn't realise something was wrong. Sorry, we don't.
Welcome
just
to people.
Relax, please relax. There's no tension here. My sister can be a little bit intense sometimes, but everything's fine.
It is a
wine?
peculiar situation.
Red
We
or
absolutely
white? Actually, we
appreciate
have
that.
both. He seems quite distracted and like more bothered about, hosting than he is about.
What goes
We'll
best
help
with the
ourselves.
beige bread?
Well, I personally, with a bit of cheese, I like the red.
Oh, okay.
But white's more refreshing if you need to.
Have the red, Sev.
Okay. Red it is.
While we stood here, I'm going to just cast Primeval Awareness, if that's okay.
I saw that, Tom. Yeah.
Specifically looking for fiends, because
I'll send you a message.
Oh, private
Well,
messages.
Happily sorry.
No, you go ahead.
We will happily regale you with stories for days. But please tell us about yourself, my lord. Have you ever left Nelrind in vain?
I've left a few times, not in any great capacity, to be honest. But I mean, what is there to tell? I am 254. I mean, that's my mother there, and he points behind you, and you turn and look and see this painting of a very intense looking elf woman, blonde, brown eyes. It is she's standing wearing a very long green robe. It's a very dramatic portrait. I mean, she's no longer with us, unfortunately. She was taken. And then my father is out on business, but yes, he's the king.
My
Hagluin.
deepest sympathies. Taken, you say?
What, my mother?
Hmm.
Yeah, she died before her time. She was only 500. It's terrible business. We sometimes have trouble. We're quite cut off from the larger world, but we still have our troubles. So I'm sure you do in the Underdark.
I'm sure you yourself. Sorry, Sev.
No, I wasn't. That's fine. Go ahead.
I think he was having a dry burp.
I was, yeah. Belch.
You must have received the finest schooling in combat yourself, if you are to be king one day.
Well, I am schooled in the ways of tactics and warfare. I'm, as all elves, learned to use a sword from a very young age, and I am, if I say so myself, a particularly good shot with a bow. Are you all trained in the arts of warfare, or are you traders, travellers? I mean, Blingdenstone. Did you mention Blingdenstone, or did I dream that?
No,
No,
you dreamt
we
that.
mentioned.
We mentioned that to her.
Oh, sorry, he doesn't say that then.
Yeah,
That's
I
just
think
a GM brain
it's
fart.
perhaps Grim and Serdi, perhaps martially trained. The rest that we would just kind of do what we can to survive.
This Underdark
But,
sounds very perilous. I'd love to hear about everything you've been up to. And as he says that, you see his sister walk in. She has quite a lot of guards with her.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, here she is. Yeah.
Can I assume I have spent so much time with Derendil, and he will have talked about Nelrindan Vein and things like this. I feel like would Derendil have shared with us like that he is particularly skillful with a bow or with a sword or any particular weapon in the time that we have known him? I'm trying to do a comparison.
When you think back to when you first met him, he did say at the time that he was
good with a bow.
he was good with a bow, but in that form,
He wasn't. Yeah.
He struggled to not break the bow or break the string, and it frustrated him. So he did. I do weirdly recall having that conversation.
I strangely remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point in all that, probably when Sev was asking about like wine pairings and stuff, could Grim have mentioned to Tink, do you think you could just check on our lad? This is taking a while.
When she's back, I don't want to leave.
No, but like you mentioned to me.
Oh, right. I assume it looks quite obvious, so I will say, my lordship, excuse me just one moment. I need to make a call.
Okay, yeah, you can call me Derendil. We're not that bothered about. We're not that bothered about titles and such here.
No, I mean, are you familiar with basic magic?
I know a little from the ranger arts, nature magic and such, but I'm not very well practiced.
I just don't want you to panic when I take out the I think it's copper wire, as when I speak into this, and I'm sending a message to a friend. It's quite urgent.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, go for it. Yeah, don't mind me. I'll just have some more cheese.
Go on.
No, go.
Everything's happening all at once. I'm interrupting. No, you finish what you're doing. Sorry.
Oh God. Okay. Someone do this? Derendil. It's Tink.
Which one are you sending it to?
Our Derendil,
Okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
are you okay? She's listening to us, but skeptical. It's taking longer than expected. Sorry.
Okay. And can he reply?
Yes.
Okay. You send the message, and then you see the man in front of you, the elf in front of you, go. His face kind of changes in surprise, and then you hear Derendil's voice go, "Yes, I'm fine. I'm just waiting for my sister. They've taken me to the wrong room, though. This isn't my room. But she said she was just going to get something to eat, and she'd be back. Are you okay?" And then you hear another voice of Derendil go, "Wow, this is really cool. How does this work then?"
Which Derendil was that?
Who knows?
It wasn't the Derendil in our.
Oh, he didn't say it out loud. No, that was in Tink's head.
Your lordship, I say out loud.
Why are you sending me a message? I'm right here. Very clever, though.
Did you just hear my voice, or did you hear another?
Yes, what's she dubious about? It was your... Oh, it sounded like you. Why are we checking I'm okay? I'm right here. Are you okay? You had a long journey. Are you tired? I did say I would get you rooms.
This is fascinating. I think
You're telling me.
it will be easier to explain once your sister.
Okay. And at that moment, she walks in with a retinue of guards, probably about 10, who will stay at the entrance to the hall. She will approach you all. See, you've met my brother. And he'll
He
be
is
like,
very
"Oh, yeah.
kind and very, very welcoming.
Well, we have to do one's best, don't we?"
We've also gathered some additional information in the short time that you've been away. When our Derendil said that you were well versed in the arcane, so I was casting message to just check in on our Derendil, and your Derendil heard it as well.
To add to what our captain has said, I'm like your brother, trained somewhat in the ranger arts, and I have hunted the fiends from the abyss for a long time. And your brother's here, and I do not smell anything of what we spoke about earlier from him. So I hope that allays your fears in that respect, or our fears, or puts that possibility to rest.
Well, I have something here, she says, Tanathel. It only works on one person at a time, but it can uncover lies.
Oh,
GM.
oh,
Sorry, Hazel, go ahead.
no, you do it.
That's a me.
Since Jim isn't here, and
Yar.
Sev hasn't got a clue about magic, might Jim or Drodin know about simulacrum or clone?
He might do. Let's give him an arcana check.
Nope.
No. There you go, Jim. I'm rolling like you would be.
Okay.
You're welcome. Yeah, Drodin just seems to be too focused on wine and cheese right now. He's listening with interest, but just shrugs his shoulders at you.
He's wandering off somewhere.
Wandering off, yeah. Just going for an explore.
Unsecured rooms.
This amulet, and she holds up an amulet that looks like It's like red glass that looks like it has melted into a teardrop shape and then set. And it's mounted on a gold frame which holds it on a chain. This is an amulet of truth. Any who wear it, should they lie, will be burned.
Excuse me, and I'll step up around where I imagine Tink's just kind of hovering in place of Grimm's face. And he'll step around and go, my lady, I apologise for the covertness of my previous actions. I just wanted to make sure that our lad was okay. I meant no harm to you or your people. I just didn't want him to feel that he was alone. But if I could offer you something, I've got an ability to make sure that people within a certain space, they can't lie. If it would be useful to have more than just the one, and without causing any harm, of course.
Very well. Well, perhaps you would wear this amulet for a moment and confirm that what you're saying is true. And she'll hand it to you.
I'll put it on.
Put it round your neck. You don't feel anything. And this spell that you're casting, you can do this and it will be an honest result.
I can cast it. It'll last for a conversation. If a conversation is about 10 minutes, a person may be able to politics their way out of an answer, but they can't lie.
Okay. Can they resist this magic? Or rather, if they resist it, could you tell? I would suggest that we all, in the interest of openness, don't resist the magic.
I would know if they did resist it.
Good.
Lady.
Good. Well, you keep that on for now. And we'll know if it gets hot, won't we? And it didn't, so... Okay, if you cast your magic...
Before you do so, Grim, I think... Forgive me, I'm sure you mean no ill will, but... We certainly don't, but I'm sure there are things that would not be safe or wise to reveal that. And in the interests of trust, can we limit the extent of this conversation while that spell is in place? There are secrets that we have, maybe from holding from other places like Bleeding Stone or Grackle Stew or other places that it would not be fair to share in self-interest this way. Does that make sense?
Derendil will be like, what's going on? We were having such a nice time. Why has it gone all weird? What's all this about truths and, well...
I think we all wish to be honest while we're here, but at the same time, if we cannot lie, and you're asking us not to resist that, then can we at least limit the conversation to our reason for being here and our intent towards your kingdom, perhaps? I do not want us to be tricked into or inadvertently give away secrets that we shouldn't.
Roll me a persuasion, please. Tanathel is, again, she's kind of hardened again. She's tilted her head slightly, looking, observing you up and down. And she will be sort of like, we're trying to understand whether you are misleading us and you want You want to keep secrets from us.
No.
You seem
precisely-
honest to me. You do seem
Precisely
honest.
because I wish to be honest 100% about our reasons for being here and our intent towards you and your people. But I also do not want to betray the trust of others I may have taken on our journeys and give away secrets that I shouldn't,
I'm-
that are not asked to give away.
I'm trying to think of what secrets they might be out above table. I can't
don't-
think of anything that might compromise the safety of any of the cities we've visited.
Well,
Tom is suspicious. Tom is suspicious.
You see Derendil going, yeah, this Zerd is a little bit, well, he's mysterious. He's a strange creature who's two creatures, and as many of them are. That like several of them are multiple people. It's fascinating. I personally believe him, and Miss Tink, and Hjalgrim, and Jago Sevatar. I believe them. The Drow hasn't said anything yet, but that's Drow, isn't it? They're kind of mysterious and a little bit like, oh, I'm going to stand in the shadows and be all edgy. It's kind of what they
Nice
do.
stick.
Or perhaps in this instance I'm dressing Parla. From what I understand of the magic, and I'll look to Grim, if you don't wish to lie but do not wish to answer, you may simply remain silent.
If you just tell us truthfully that that is something that for whatever reason you do not want to answer, as long as you are being truthful. Don't lie.
I would not anyway. I was
I know.
merely exercising wisdom, I hope, on the behalf of all of us. Remember that the prince and princess will also be in this circle of truth and will not be able to lie about their kingdom. I was concerned that any of us could give away information we shouldn't, and that would not be wise for any of us.
And with that, if everyone doesn't mind, and my lord and my lady, I do wonder whether we should move somewhere more private, particularly for my lord. There's about to be some information that could be sensitive, and with further conversation, there are two people within the party, including my lord, that I'd much rather not upset. Could be a difficult conversation to have, my lady.
You all do speak in riddles. I mean, this hall has an enchantment. No one can be invisible here. We cannot be spied on. I can send the guards away if you really feel.
It would be more for your own good, my lord.
My lady, may I just perhaps have a quiet word in your ear? I think I understand what my companion is trying to convey to you.
Why do we need to be... Look, speak openly. Cast your magic.
Wait,
I wish to hear what you have to say.
should our friend not be here also? Or else you could accuse us of later feeding him information.
No, I don't want your friend here. I'm sorry. Because this here will tell me whether we will know.
I think we mean well in these requests, my lady, but I get the impression that we're wearing your patience, and I'm sorry, so perhaps we should just...
You come
ask
here
the guys.
claiming... I have not told you this, brother. They claim to have you with them in a different form, and that you are not who you say you are. And you drop that on us, and now you want to bring this potential imposter into the conversation. No, I will not have it. Cast the magic or leave and take your creature with you.
Our sincere apologies, Grim. Please.
You'll see Prince Derendil will say, "Oh, come on, sister. There's no need for hostilities. These fine people have travelled a long way and had a hard journey, no doubt. Let's just relax. I don't understand what's going on, but come on. We're all friends here. Wine." And he starts pouring more glasses of wine.
Daddy, chill.
I'll cast Zone of Truth. If anyone is outside the 15-foot radius that's kind of like I'm at the edge of it, I will call them forward.
Yeah.
And then I think I will do my best to make eye contact with Princess.
Okay, everyone will be in it. Does anyone want to resist it?
No.
No.
Do I feel any resistance from
No.
either of them?
They both seem to accept it. And Derendil's like shoving cheese and bread in his mouth and drinking wine, and just looks like he's having a great time. Doesn't know what's going on really, but he's just enjoying the intrigue of the moment.
I will look at the princess, look her in the eye, and say, "We mean you and your kingdom no harm."
A good start. I don't mean you any harm. I just want to know the truth.
My comments and requests were only to protect us all from inadvertently giving something away we shouldn't. I meant it. I mean no dishonesty. And I believe my companion was just concerned about the feelings of your brother with his comments.
I mean, I'm not particularly upset. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm loving it. So please carry on. I think you're all fascinating, intriguing, wonderful people. I feel like we'd be friends, in different circumstances. Maybe we will be when this is all sorted. So carry on. Tell us what the hell is going on. I'm really curious now. Tanathel will sort of put a hand on him. Just calm, brother, please. Can you start at the beginning? That creature you're with, where did you find him?
We found him in Velkinvel.
Which is where?
All of us,
Apart from
in the
me,
Underdark.
It's a drow prison camp. We were all captured by drow.
Except
Wow.
me. I joined them all recently, and
I joined a little after that, and they were there too. I met them in Grackleston.
That's where we met Derendil, or who we believe to be Derendil, the Quaggoth form. And we escaped, and during the course of our travels, he explained to us, and I believe that he believes what he tells us is true. And the story he tells is as you've heard, that he believes he is Prince Derendil, who has been cursed and transformed, whose body has been transformed into the one you have seen. We've travelled with him for some time, and in all of that time, we've not seen anything that would indicate anything differently. So if he was acting, then he's doing a fantastic job.
He has been nothing but a very brave and stalwart companion for us all. Put himself in danger to save our lives on several occasions. We have no reason to think that he is anything but what he claims to be.
And as we've established, to support his claim, has told us about you and your kingdom many times, and was able to transport us here by thinking of it.
I've had people sent out to the teleportation stone to see if what you're saying is true. I'm sure we'll know before this conversation is over anyway. You can see Derendil going, "So this... Which one of you thinks you're me? Sorry. I'm a little confused." And she'll say, "Oh, he's upstairs. He doesn't look anything like you."
Sounds like you.
How long have you travelled with him? It's about 2.5 months.
2.5 months, and he said it happened to him about 3 months.
Yes.
Yes. Did anything peculiar happen 3 months ago?
And the elven Derendil will say, well, it's funny you should say that. We did have a fascinating experience. I was out hunting, and I've heard lots of tales of the Underdark, and I've never been, obviously. And we found a cave, and we went in. We were trying to hunt down a group of goblins that were unfortunately killing and robbing people on the road. And we thought they might be in this cave. Went in, and there was no goblins or anything, but there was this weird magical wind light thing. It was fascinating. No idea what it was, but it was very beautiful. But other than that, I mean, that was about 3 months ago. But it didn't creep out. It sort of started to creep out into the air, but it dissipated after about 2 hours.
My lady, my lord, may I quickly cast a spell to reflect what I think you may have seen?
Tanathar will nod. Yes, but if you dispel this spell, I will know.
No. Can I minor illusion the Fezres?
You can, yeah. That's it. Yes, that's exactly like that. What is that? Have you seen it as well?
It is abundant in the Underdark.
Oh. So that cave may well go into the Underdark then. That could be.
Indeed, and
Wow.
it, from my experience, is volatile arcane energy.
Yeah. So Tanathar will... I'm not seeing the relevance of this, sorry, but will you continue? This magical energy is abundant. If you did see it, brother, fascinating as that may be, has this creature always claimed to be who he claims to be, or...
Absolutely.
For as long as we've known them.
This magical energy, was it present in Velkenvelv, I think you said it was called?
It was.
It was. Velkenvelv, drow, that creature, do they live there?
Yes. My lord, when you came upon these goblins, was it only goblins, or were there any other creatures amongst anything like this? And can I minor illusion a Quaggoth?
No, never seen one of those before.
Okay.
Is it kind of like a werewolf crossed with a bear, or whatever? Looks quite ferocious.
Just a creature native to the Underdark.
Ah. And
Perhaps
you
the
see
answers may
Tanathar will
lie-
recognise him.
May lie in this Fezres.
You think? What
I
makes
don't
you?
know much about it.
Is it a current of magic, or is it? Tell me of your experiences of it. We don't get this phenomena on the surface, so.
The general rules is don't mess with it, don't touch it. Just don't.
Because you don't know what might happen.
It has an element of wild magic about it. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Ever since you encountered these goblins, have you felt quite well in yourself, my lord?
I feel fine. I had no ill effects.
Memories, no Feelings of emptiness.
No. No, not at all. The magical energies were beautiful, fascinating. It made me feel a bit weird, but they had no ill effect. As I say, it was a false lead, but now I know that goes into the Underdark. We'll have it properly investigated. We wouldn't want anything coming out, would we? So Tanathar will interrupt him. Do you mean us any harm?
No.
No.
You truly believe that creature is my brother?
We believe that he believes it.
And brother, you are who you say you are? And he's just kind of go, what kind of question is that? Of course I am. I'm me. I've always been me, and I'll always be me.
If you don't mind me speaking on the subject, I haven't known the group as long as the others. But Derendil, he's a good lad. And he loves this place and these people. And we need to be careful in how we deal with this because, I mean, imagine if you got taken away from your family as much as you knew, and then you found out that that wasn't the case. He's either a copy of your brother or truly thinks he is, and I'm worried about the lad. He's done nothing wrong.
Copy.
And although we don't mean you any harm, the Quaggoth in him is still a part of him, and yes, the shock might upset or anger him, or that part of him, so that he appears as if he does.
There could be a connection. This place you came from had these creatures in it, and this magical energy. What did you call it? Phase-res?
Yes.
And it seems my brother did encounter this energy. It's not impossible that... I mean, what are these creatures like normally? Are they intelligent?
No.
No.
They don't converse like this. Derendil is entirely unique.
Perhaps I'm sorry for the hostility. I believe you. And I believe my brother. Hopefully you all believe he is who he says he is. So I am sorry, but your Derendil is not my brother.
That's maybe, but he may be a part of your brother.
Shall we go examine him?
I would be very grateful if we could work together to work out what has happened and aid him to the best of our ability.
Please be kind to him, though. He is not he's not deserving of any upset because of this.
I will treat him like my brother for now. We can examine him. I'll see. We can see what magics are involved and see if there is anything that can be done. Prince Derendil will say, "Well, I'll come with you. Yes. Shall I get the chap some cheese and bread and wine? I'll bring it up with me." And she'll be like, "No, brother. I don't think seeing himself, if he really does believe he's you, would be of kindness. So I suggest you go and practice your bow, and we'll leave you. We'll come and find you after. You could see the disappointment on his face. He's like very expressive. He's like, oh, I really wanted to meet a Quaggoth that thought it was me, but fine, I'll go and find something else to do. And he will hand he's picked up some bread and a plate and some cheese and a glass of wine. It's like, and he'll just try and hand it off to someone. Give him that, but not from me, obviously. But yes, give him that, and I'll catch you later. I can't wait to hear all of your stories about all of the Underdark things and all of the adventures you've been on, and no doubt all the strange and mysterious things that you've met and fought, and yes, and this Blingden Stone, Gracklestug, those two places, I don't even know what they are, but they sound brilliant. So, it's been a pleasure. I'm waffling. I'll see you later. And
It's been a pleasure back, yada yada.
Can Grim
Lovely.
reach into a pouch and pull out like a napkin, and in it is like a little Blingtonstone Lunchable. So there's a bit of blue cheese, a couple of crackers. Like every now and then, Grim just has like crumbs in his beard, and you don't know where they came from. But this one's
Now
nice
we
and
know.
neat. Yeah, he'll offer that to the prince. If you're interested in some Blingdonian cheese, you can have this.
It's blue with streaks of white instead of the other way around.
Maybe don't eat too much of it, just in case.
It's not poisoned, is it?
No, sir.
It's a spell
We
still
just
up.
might have.
Yeah.
Is it 10
Okay,
minutes?
brilliant. And he just starts eating it. Oh, that's marvelous. Ooh. You'll have to teach me how to make this. Well,
We'll try and get some
not
sense
me,
in.
but the cheesemaker. Yeah. Right. Farewell. And he will wander off, but he does keep looking back at you all, just like seems quite excited, having these strange Underdark visitors. The sister will. I'll examine him. How do you want me to proceed? Do you want me to tell him, or do you want to maintain the ruse for now?
Could we maintain the ruse for now?
Very well. Very well. This way, then. And she will lead you out of the hall, then up the stairs. 3 doors down. You see the 2 guards outside. They bow very slightly, but keeping their eyes up to the princess, and open the door for her. And you see Derendil leaning on a balcony, looking out at this beautiful view. There's a waterfall in the distance that cascades through this forest, ancient elven structures, some of them still inhabited, but some of them not. And you just see he's just gazing out at this, just breathing deep. He's closing his eyes, smelling it all. And he hears the door. And he doesn't turn, he just continues to just stare out across this river running through the waterfall in the distance. You can smell the freshness of the air. It just smells like summer. You can smell flowers and plants, and indeed there's flowers and vines with flowers growing inside the buildings, all across the balcony, everywhere. There's a little bit of coolness in the air, as if we're on the cusp of autumn. He hears you approaching, but still does not turn. Yes, I thought I'd never see this again. Isn't it wonderful? And he will turn and see you all there. Ah, my friends, you've met my sister. Look at this.
Very beautiful kingdom, my friend.
It is. It's only when I see it again that I realise I never did it justice in telling you how beautiful it was.
Do you feel at home?
More at home than I have felt in a long time. I felt at home with all of you. You were my home for a very long time. But now, it's like awakening from a bad dream of darkness, and finally the place is back. I'm here. We're here. And sister, you haven't aged. It's only been a few months, I know. And you will see her. She hesitates slightly, but she's like, I know, brother. I've been talking to your friends. It's not very well delivered. It's not very convincing, but Derendil doesn't seem to spot it. My friends have been telling you, your friends have been telling me, sorry, about all of your, well, this Velkenvelv place and your form. The magical energies. Do you perchance remember any strange lights or magical energies? When this happened, you see him go, I remember, well, when I awoke, there was this weird light, yes. I went to sleep, and when I awoke...
Where did you awake?
I was in a cave. I was in a cave with these big, with things like me.
Was
Things
it
like-
the cave in Velkenvelv? Or different?
I think it... How did I not realise that? Yes, I awoke in the cave in Velkenvelv. Why?
We have been telling your sister everything we have been through, and she has been telling us what has been taking place here. And there are some questions raised about how on earth happened to you, how you left this place. So we need to ask some more questions, and your sister, as you said, is more adept at arcane investigation, taking a...
I've told you
Look
my
at-
sister is... not to, inflate your ego, dear sister, but you are a genius. And if you can't turn me back, then no one can. She's like, and again, she hesitates. She looks at you all. She's finding it difficult, but she says, well, brother, let me examine you. Let me figure this out. And she will approach and sort of, she's quite gently. I mean, he's huge. She's probably about 5'6", and he's, 9 foot tall. He's ginormous. But he will come down to her level. He will kneel down, and she will examine him. And you see her take out a few spell focus items, some gems, and she will begin to examine him. Yes, let me figure out what we can do, brother. Your friends are very concerned for you. This is quite a form you have. You are a giant almost. It must be an experience. So you wouldn't believe. Crap with the bow though these days. Keep breaking the strings, and a few times broke the bow. So yes, I can't wait to get back. Can't wait to get back. And she will examine him for a time. I think I have everything I need. Do you want to wait here, brother? We're gonna go and go to my laboratory and see if we can figure something out. if that's okay with everyone.
Will we be very long?
I don't think so. No.
Is that okay with you, Derendil? Sorry, my lord.
You don't have to call me my lord, Tink, with everything we've been through. We don't
It'll
really
be quite a
care
shock
about...
to everyone.
Yeah, we don't really care about titles around here. Well, I'm sure my sister will tell you the same. It's just Derendil. We're friends. We always will be. You'll always have a place here in my kingdom.
I'm sure you're keen to reacquaint yourself with your kingdom and your people. But, yes, I agree with your sister. Perhaps it is best we address this first before they see you.
I'll just stay here for a while and enjoy the view. I don't understand the magical things very well. So
Thank you for being understanding.
Oh, I'm just so happy to be back. So happy. Thank you all, really. I owe you everything. All of you. Go on, get off. We'll have a feast later, I'm sure. Celebrate coming home. And Tanathal will leave the room. With whether you want to follow or not is up to you.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. She will start walking down the stairs, but she'll stop halfway down.
Lady.
I can't pretend to understand this magical energy. But that creature is not my brother. I have heard tell of wild magic transferring magical abilities and even memories. And I think, in a way, that creature has my brother's memories, but is not my brother. He is a... What did you say he was? A
Quaggoth.
A Quaggoth. He is a Quaggoth that thinks he is Derendil, but he is not.
I think you're right, and it's almost a moot point at this stage. And the why and how, I suppose, really doesn't matter.
I think
because there's nothing to undo.
There is not.
What's important is what we do now and what the future holds for our Derendil.
Without feeling abstract about things,
Can't hear you,
what
Tom,
is it
sorry.
that makes, without trying being too abstract about things, what is it that makes a person? I mean, our Darendil believes he is, and he clearly is not your brother, my lady, but he's no less the person he thinks he is for that. That makes sense. I mean, he is different from your brother physically, but he appears to be a copy of your brother's mind to a point, it seems.
From 3 months ago, at which point they took divergent paths.
So
it's almost like you have two brothers now. If you choose to see it that way, I wouldn't presume to tell you how to react to this, my lady.
But I would
She's
hope
kind of...
that you would show compassion.
Of course.
Sorry to throw any spanners in the work, but what if this copy of your brother ended up in someone with their own mind, their own wants, their own history? How do we know there's not someone else in there? We've got enough to us round here. Could he be as well?
I mean, the magic affecting your friend is not dissimilar to a curse. And curses can be removed. But if I did remove that curse, then all of his memories would be gone, and he would be what you described as non-communicative. He would be the creature he was before.
But if you did not remove the curse, would there be a place for him here? Would you allow him to be what he is now?
Be a puppet.
That
Wouldn't be
would,
himself.
So he would be himself.
I mean, we are all our memories make us. Our memories are all that make us. Every one of us, whether we are elf that live 1,000 years or a kobold that lives 25.
And that
Memories
car
are
got
what
bad
make us.
memories before whatever the Derendil is. What about them? Are they not innocent in this?
He is innocent, but he is not an elf. It would be up to my father as to whether he was allowed to stay, but
Oh, I'm not on that one, my lady. What about the Quagga? I would not want someone else in my mind. I would not want to be someone's puppet.
I don't think it's his mind that has been replaced. It is simply the memories have been inserted into the mind. So he is both the Quaggoth and my brother in a weird way. I think the decision is to be yours and his as to what you do here. I can remove the curse, but he will lose those memories. And potentially the memories that you share with him.
Graham, I'm not sure returning the original Quaggoth to its body is the kindness you think if it goes back to its old life before this happened.
It's
It
not
most
about
likely lived in.
kindness. It's about what's right.
Yep, for
The
who?
laws of nature.
Okay.
And I think if you asked Derendil what was right, he would say he wanted to stay Derendil. I'm almost certain of it.
I think he'd want to be his memory of Derendil, which isn't that.
He isn't Derendil.
But he can forge a path of his own.
Of course.
They
You
just
need to
share
tell
it.
you need
Share
to
a
tell
history is
him
all.
he will never be an elf.
I need to know from you whether he could have a place here. Because to him, this is home.
I would have to talk with my father, but I fear it's unlikely.
We cannot decide it for him. We can just decide how to tell him and ask him what he wishes.
And even if he doesn't have a place here, it's not the end for our Derendil. He could still, while it wouldn't be his first choice, could still make alternative decisions and choose an alternate path
He could
for
stay with
himself.
us. I've been his family these last several months.
We have warm welcomes at Gracklesturg and Blingdenstone, and
My lady, if you are as adept as he said he remembered you to be, do you know, could a Quaggoth be turned into an elf?
There are very powerful magics that could do such a thing. You're talking a wish spell. Or, if he were to die and be brought back, some magics can change your form, but it's hard to predict what that form will be. I'm sorry, I think the life that he lives from now on is in the form he is in now. It is who he is. It is not his fault. It's not your fault. But he does need to know. And I do not feel it is my place to tell him. He knows me, but I don't know him. If you wish for the curse to be removed, then I can do so. But he will revert to what he was before. And I do not know whether he will remember everything that happened after he changed. He may. It's impossible to know. But the choice needs to be his.
Is it possible to erase certain memories instead of reversing the whole curse?
Yeah, it is feasible. It depends on the complexity and the how long ago the memory was formed, what period of time it was formed over. Why?
What if he forgot everything before he met us?
No.
In reality, everything before he met us was life as a Quaggoth anyway. And the only thing that will hurt him is missing what he thinks is where he should belong. And that is everything before 3 months ago.
This is not fair.
No,
Can't make this decision for him. We must tell him what's happening and let him decide. It's options
Sadie.
that he can decide.
Sadie, I think it's, with respect, I think, based on where we are and the company we are in, we have to respect the original Prince Derendil and the kingdom we are in. And while our Derendil might decide to strike out on his own, our Derendil would then be loose in the world, open to capture, torture, interrogation, and would contain all the knowledge that a prince of Velkenvel would have, and I think would be a great risk.
Which is why he should be allowed to stay here.
Or to stay with us.
I think staying here would be as torturous as anything else, because he would be constantly reminded about what he cannot have.
I mean,
Perhaps.
with us, he would be running no more risk than he has been for the last 3 months.
And he doesn't have to continue with us. He could settle down in any of the settlements we've established good relations at.
There's no ill will of Lindenstone for the people here, I'm sure. They're good people.
Would the king see him? If he asked to?
The king would consider any proposal.
Whatever he decides, I think he would want to see who he thinks is his father. I know it's peculiar, but
It would be a kindness.
Would it? Would it be a
How would you feel if your
kindness
father turned you away?
I don't know.
it's not for us to say, it's for him. I'm simply asking if it's something we could request, if he requests it.
I can request it. Sooner or later he needs to find out. My brother is alive and well.
We will go tell him. We can go tell him.
Let's tell him and see how he reacts and what his what his intentions are, what he would like to do.
We appreciate we have imposed this upon you, but... And I think you do show him compassion. We may need to impose a little longer to help him to understand what his options are and understand what has happened.
It's fine. There is no rush.
Thank you.
You can stay as long as you need. I don't think it's wise for him to meet my brother.
Agree.
So, I will have the adjacent rooms made available to you. I'll have a guard with you, but feel free to travel. We will make food available later. In my study, perhaps, rather than the banquet hall.
We're indebted to you. Thank you, my lady.
There is no debt. There is no debt. I will leave you. I hope it goes well. And she will turn and gracefully descend the stairs. And she will look back as she reaches the bottom and just kind of closes her eyes and nods to you. And then disappears through the palace. So you find yourself halfway down the stairs.
I turn round.
Okay. The door, you ascend the stairs, the door is there. 2 guards outside. A third following you. They open the door. And he's still, you see him through the door, he's still there on the balcony, just breathing in the air. And he hears the door. Why does everyone look so serious? We're finally here. All the things we've survived. We haven't even have. Did you talk to my sister about Eldith?
Not yet. No.
There's time. There's time. We have artifacts and oh, Grim's wearing the. Why have you got that on, Grim? My sister's quite forgetful. I'll give that to her if you like.
It's all right, lad. I'll return it. Quite interesting, isn't it, what you've got around here?
Yeah, by the way, if you tell a lie wearing that thing, it will get very hot.
I know. Don't you worry.
Are there chairs inside, somewhere to sit?
Yeah, you move into the bedroom area, but it's almost as if this room was grown and not built. There is just flowers growing everywhere in the room. They're kind of late summer flowers. For some reason, Tink, you seem to know that. I think Serdi would also know that. There's a number of dressers and chairs and things, and yes. Derendil will sit on the edge of the bed, and you can gather some chairs around. What's going on? Has my sister been rude to you, Ting? You look a bit shell-shocked. That's not a word that exists in this time, but you know what I mean.
She's been very kind to us, Derendil.
Good. As long as she wasn't rude, she can be a bit bristly sometimes, but it comes from a place of love, I assure you.
Derendil, you never had any recollection of what happened between you waking up in Velkenvelv and everything else you remember, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure how I got down there. No, I never really understood how I got there. But I did get there. I can only guess Valkenvalve must be underneath here somewhere or not far away.
Perhaps. We think there is a tunnel to the Underdark somewhere nearby.
There you go. There you go.
Derendil, I'm so sorry.
You don't have anything to be sorry for. You got me here. All of you got me here.
Here is not home. Not for you. It just feels that way.
It just feels that way because I grew up here. I'll be king one day.
Derendil, we don't think these memories you have of this place are yours.
I don't understand what you mean.
We think this is your form.
It's what? This doesn't make any sense. It's
We think you are a Quaggoth with the prince's memories. But to us you are Prince Derendil. But to Nelrind and Vane you are not.
well, they must have been missing me.
We have met Prince Derendil. He is like you in every way.
Your family, you have. He has never left.
Doesn't make sense. That no, I can't. I don't understand.
I'm not sure we do entirely. But the point is we cannot turn you back into what you were, because this is what you have always been. And I'm so sorry.
If your sister were to lift a curse, if that is what it is, it would simply return you to Quaggoth, not to an elf.
You see him looking at his hands, his huge clawed hands. If anyone else were to tell me this, I'd think that it was a lie. But you wouldn't lie to me.
Can
You're
I put
saying-
my tiny hand in one of his big clawed hands?
Yeah, it is really tiny.
Put the amulet on Tink.
Yeah.
So you're telling me
guessing that-
I'm a lie? I'm not real.
You are Derendil.
But I'm a lie.
And you can be whoever you want to be. But you cannot be the prince of this place because there already is another. That doesn't have to be the end.
But I know my way around this place. I know every room. I know all of the people that work here. I know all of the guards. I know all of their names. But it's a lie. I'm not real.
It's not a lie, and you are real.
I don't.
It's
It's too much. I can't. I can't talk about this right now. I think you should leave me alone. I don't want to hear this. I am not. I can't. I need to be an elf again. You said you would make it happen. We would get here. My sister can fix anything. I need to be an elf. I can't be this thing anymore.
Lad, maybe just you are the hero of Gracklestube, a saviour of Lingdenstone. You can be many things. You're our Derendil. We know that much. You know that much.
You're all my family. Every one of you. But how do I adapt to this being this thing, and all of my memories are a lie? How do I deal with that? How do I process?
I don't know, but I am living proof that you can.
I'm sorry, that was insensitive of me.
No. I wanted to give you hope. I have been told I am a dwarf. I have been told I am some sort of fae. But all this time, I've been looking for their memories, their past. I have felt like me. I am Tink. And Derendil is Tink's friend. And I am forging my own path. So can you.
The hero of any of those places you all are. I'm just a big hairy ape who followed you around because I recognize people who are actually capable and are actually heroes. I'm just some dumb creature with a curse.
That's not what I've heard. I've only known you a week. Everything else I know about you, I've been told by others. Others who have seen you in battle.
You're brave and kind, and our companion and our friend. You are not only your memories, you are the memories you've made with us, and you are your present, and you are the person you will become.
So I can't stay here.
There can't be two princes.
And I'm always going to be like this.
We can continue looking, but there's no guarantees, for sure.
I know you say I've always been this, but as long as I remember, I never felt like this. It's like I'm trapped in this body and I don't even know who I am anymore. Not being this thing was the thing that kept me going. You kept me going, all of you. I think I'm going to need some time. What are my options? Stay this thing? What
Come
else
with
is there?
us. We continue to look for answers.
You could have your memories of this place, or the original Prince Derendil's memories, erased, and begin from 3 months ago when we first met. And my theory is that then you become your own person from then, without the baggage of a phantom former life.
You saw those things in Velkenvelv. I've met smarter rocks than those things.
Which is why it's not a curse. You haven't been cursed, you've been blessed. Without
Yes.
this, you would be in a cage behind bars, lifting rocks, slave to the drow. You've been blessed. You have the intelligence, the personality, and wit of an elf, a wood elf, of royal lineage. More than any other Quaggoth would get an opportunity like that. Now all you have to do is decide what to do with that gift.
For someone that sees the darkness so vividly, Sev, you really do seem to know how to find the hope in a situation. I'm going to need some time.
Of course.
I need to decide whether I want this curse broken or carry on with you all. If it's not too much to ask, I think everything we've done means the world to me. You are my greatest friends, even in all of these fake memories that I have. I really wanted to see Eldith back. She told me so much about her daughter. I kind of hope to meet her someday.
May still happen.
That's all real.
Maybe.
Those are the first steps in your new life. The real experiences, the real Derendil. You have things you want to achieve. You just said one right there. You have aims, you have goals, you have things you'd like to do, things you'd like to achieve. You want to make the world a better place, and you've been given some gifts to help you achieve that.
That's not something born of false memories. That's you and your memories with us. That's not something shared, just yours.
And there's more to come if you choose that path.
I shall think on it. I shall see. I shall see how I feel. It's rather overwhelming, as you can imagine. I thought. Anyway.
We'll give you some time.
No matter what happens, I'm so grateful to you all. I'm so sorry you've had to tell me this. And I love you all for having the strength to tell me.
Did you wish we didn't have to, my friend?
I thought
Better
I would.
us than anyone else.
Yes. Yes, better than Hemeth, perhaps. He would have really broken it badly.
Another true friend you've made in the short time you've been as you are.
It's hard not to like the grumpy old bastard, isn't it? I especially enjoy showing affection to him because it really messes with his head.
Incidentally, everything you have experienced and can remember from the last 3 months, the elf downstairs doesn't have those. Only you do.
And he doesn't have all of you.
If I say so myself. Not as interesting in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I bet he
Didn't
smells
even know about
better.
blue cheese.
Well, yes. It's the beauty of the Underdark, all the things we saw. It was pretty exciting, wasn't it? It was pretty amazing. All of those places. We saw a demon lord. We saw 2. Well, you saw 2. I saw 1.
I've seen none.
Oh, well. Maybe they'll tell you about it. Or maybe I will. I'm sure it'll all seem better in the morning. Is it okay to have a
You have lots to think about.
I do. I do.
Whatever you decide to do, we will support you.
Thank you. I'm so sorry what I said about dumb as a rock. That was really insensitive of me. Obviously I meant an inanimate rock, not a talking kobold rock. Just to be clear.
I thought it was a compliment.
Oh. Yes. Yes. Compliments. It's, yeah. Okay. Maybe the phrase does fit then.
We'll give you some space.
Please. I'm just going to go and take a look at the view. The sun should be setting soon. If you have rooms, I recommend watching. They are beautiful here. It sets a little early because of the terrain and the trees, but it does lift the heart.
Well, this will be my first one, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, apparently it's my first one as well. Even though I remember them. Until later, friends. And he will
Check in on
stand.
you later.
He will let go of Tink's hand. He will stand and he sort of takes one last look at you and does that weird Quaggoth toothy smile that doesn't look very happy, but it looks almost slightly threatening, but it's the best he can do. And he walks to the balcony, leans, and just looks out, and you can already see the light is getting golden as the sun is coming down. You can see it reflecting off the water. What would you like to do?
I would like to stand guard outside his room. Let him know
Okay.
that if he needs anything, I'll be just outside.
He will thank you.
Is everyone leaving?
It's up to you all.
Yeah, I will.
Give him some space.
Can I be the last one to leave and just hover behind him while
Mm-hmm.
so he doesn't have to look at me? Derendil, ever since we met, you are the only person who has really been able to understand how it feels to be
In the wrong body.
yes. And I am so sorry.
It's not your fault. You don't have anything to be sorry about. I'm sorry for what happened to you, and I thought my sister might be able to fix that for you as well. We have links
Because
to
of
the
you.
Fae. We don't have links to the Fae. I'm not him. Why do I keep saying these things? I'm sorry.
Memories are yours now. Don't deny what you think and feel.
It's a lot to take on. It's like
It is.
understanding the world and then finding out it doesn't exist.
And I thought I was alone in that feeling until I met you. And then I met Yasva. That crocodile thing. 30 now.
Mhm.
We are not alone.
No.
You are not alone in this. Please remember that. And perhaps that is what we are here for. To help one another. But in the most selfish way possible. Please don't leave me alone.
I wouldn't do that. I said I'd help you find what you needed to find, and I said my family would reward you and help you, and we would figure out what to do about this whole mess. I can't keep that promise, I'm so sorry. But I can still help you.
And we can help you. We can help each other. I'm sorry, I'll let you. I'm sorry.
Don't. I'm sorry. Don't worry. We'll. You can see he's starting to shift. His attitude's starting to shift. I just need some time to figure out how to proceed, to comprehend what's happening. But I will. I would like to see Eldith revived. I would like to see you remember who you are. I'd like to see Sev smile just once.
I would like to make more memories of our own.
It has been pretty great. We freed 2 cities. The other Derendil can't say anything like that. The best he's ever done is free a village from some goblins.
Good. I'm glad you see that.
I do.
I will drift away
Mm-hmm.
to leave him to it, but I'll see Grim in the doorway. I'll make this motion for him to close the door, wave, invisibility. And I'm going to stay in the room if I can, find a high up area, like it looks like some bowel branch I could hide away in.
Okay. Yeah, he's not very likely to spot anything. He is a big dumb creature at the end of the day. Okay.
And this is how you end up seeing Derendil masturbate.
No,
Oh
no.
no! Oh, that changed the mood.
He's got emotions
Oh,
to deal with. He needs an outlet.
No one wants to see a quag-off dong.
I feel like
Quag-off,
we'll have
mag-off.
seen it.
We will have. He didn't have pants for a good long
Yeah.
time.
Oh yeah, he's got like a hairy coverage. I don't know. Oh,
Yeah, that's
I
all
was,
going to get matted.
I was just thinking we need a light lift, a little bit of humour, and thanks, Hazel. You just went in with the full wrong, and then what would the others like to do? Or do you all need a bit of time as well?
There's not a great deal.
Are we flying to the castle?
No, not. It doesn't seem so now. No. You will descend the stairs. Those of you that do, you see the real Prince Derendil has snuck back into the hall and he's digging into the cheese and biscuit and bread again, and he's drinking wine. He's just sort of talking to one of the guards, absent-mindedly, and he'll see you all, and yeah, his expression changes. He looks a little bit more somber. Everything sorted, or do we? What's the plan for the rest of the? Do you need me to arrange some food, a feast, or how long do you need to stay?
Giving our friends some space, but perhaps just we'll understand more in the morning.
Okay.
Would it be possible to walk outside the palace and
Oh, of course. Yes.
see your city?
Feel free. Let me give you. And he will sort of reach onto his belt, take a pouch, and we'll take how many of you? He'll take out some little. They look like a brooch. It just appears to be like a wreath of flowers, with a stag head in the middle. If each of you wear these, then you will not be troubled by the guards. They're my personal steel. Yes, this is the emblem of Nelrindon Vane.
Thank you.
You have free reign. I'll arrange for food, but I'll talk to my sister. We'll see what you want to do. Have you decided what you want to do, or do you need a bit of time?
Our companion would like some time for consideration, if you'd be so kind, and we'd like to wait and see the outcome of his decision and try and help him along from there.
Well, how about if he needs a bit of time, I'll have some food sent up, and we can talk about all of your adventures in the Underdark. I'm very keen to hear what's occurring down there and what it's like, and all the strange and mysterious creatures, and yeah, I really would love to hear. And I'm sure my father would greatly appreciate any news from the Underdark. I mean, you did say that you were having some difficulties down there. I'd love to hear all about it. So, shall I set something up? We can have a bit of a shindig. Oh, sorry, that's rude of me. It's a difficult time, I can see. We'll have a quiet, intimate meal, and we can just discuss business and how we can help. Yes, how we can help. I'm sure we can help.
There are certainly some things that we should tell your father of and warn him of, especially now that it's clear that there is a teleportation circle that leads here.
Yes, there is. It's not been used for a while, but it's interesting to hear that it's opened to Blingden Stone. There are other locations, I believe, that it can go. I've heard it can reach Gauntlgrim, or it could at one point. And of course, the Fey realm. It's no secret elves are ancestors of the Fey. I do know a few routes in. If you ever Feywild, now that's somewhere I have been, and that is pretty crazy. Have you ever seen a flail snail race?
No, but now I do.
Oh, you need to. But don't look directly at them because you can go blind. But they are some of the fastest snails I've ever seen. They're still pretty slow, but they do look great. They're really, really great. Yeah, and well. Anyway, I'm waffling. I'll go and arrange dinner. You have a wander. And I'll see you perhaps, what time is it? Another 2 hours, and I'll have everything ready for you. Any requests?
Some fruit and some vegetables would be... the memory of them is... I don't even eat. What am I saying? It's very good.
You're very strange. I'm really looking forward to talking to you over dinner. Yeah, we'll probably have venison, fruit, vegetables, various edible leaves, edible flowers. Yeah, everything. We'll have it all. I'm pretty sure there's some venison hanging in the pantry. If you partake of that, if you don't, we have plenty of options. But yes, I'll arrange. I'm waffling. Goodbye. And he turns and wanders off, and then turns back, takes a bit more cheese, and wanders off again.
Seb would like to. I probably, while we're waiting for the evening get together, is to explore the palace grounds. Doesn't want to leave the settlement per se, but look at the architecture, and I guess there'll be a lot of the combining of the nature and the construction of the wood elves. And he wants to find somewhere high. He'll probably find some kind of spire on the castle itself, and try and catch the sunset if he can.
Yeah. Some of the trees here are the biggest trees you have ever seen. They are.
Right.
Take the biggest oak and times it by 5. Absolutely ginormous.
So he'll just be agog at all these new things, and probably be sort of taken aback and have a little chuckle to himself when he sees a real raven, having thought that the things that he summons were some kind of mythical creature that he's not. That was just a symbol of his, but it's actually a real animal.
Yeah.
So
there's
he
a
sort of
few of them here.
So he chuckles to himself, and then he'll meet up with everyone a bit later. But that's what several.
They don't have golden eyes here. That is
Right.
probably the only thing that differs. But otherwise, they seem identical. And obviously, you can't command these ones. They seem to do their own thing. But again, you do, as you're walking through the woods before you climb the tree. The sun is quite low, but you see stags like roaming quite freely through the woods.
Right.
Lots of wildlife, birds singing in the trees. It is a very peaceful and serene scene. You see these strange small orange rodents running around, running up the trees vertically. But yeah, and as the sun begins to set, it sort of turns orange, and then gold, and then purple, and then finally this deep, rich blue before the sun is gone.
Nice.
Anyone else?
Sergi would just find the greenest bit that he can in the city, the bit where he can sort of look and imagine that he's not in a city at all, but just in a forest, and sit at the bottom of the tree and curl up with Ambrose and trying to remember when he left Shalmistra and think about everything that's happened since, and how him and Parla, and trying to understand a little bit more about what's happening to them.
Yeah, even as you sit in the trees, there are berries growing. You can smell the air, and instinctually, the surdy part of you knows that you're at the end of summer, and autumn will be here soon, and the leaves will turn from green to gold. But right now, it's warm, it's comfortable, it's peaceful. You hear the distant sound of an elf climbing a very big tree. But it is the most peaceful respite you've probably had for a very long time. Anyone else?
I keep watch as late as I can. Fall asleep standing up in the hallway.
That's a skill. That is a skill. You only gently snore when you're standing up as well. It's not as loud as when you're lying down.
The armor really helps. Like he just kind of slouches into it so it locks into place.
Yeah.
He's got special armor that allows you to. No danger of
He's
falling over.
Inches shorter when he sleeps.
Nice. And then finally, Tink, you're invisible, sat in the vines and plants that grow through this room. And Derendil just is leaning on the balcony, watching the sunset. He is enraptured, like he's seeing it for the first time. Even though he has thousands of memories of watching it, he's just stood in awe. but also you can see, although there's no sound, you see the tears running down the fur of his face. It seems quite odd in a way to see this monstrous thing wearing clothes and quietly weeping, but he is. And after an hour, the sun is just disappearing. The sky is sort of turning a purple through to blue. He stands a little bit straighter, takes a breath, and just seems to nod to himself. And then he moves to the bed, lies on it, and seems to go into a quiet sleep. Or maybe he's just lying there with his eyes shut. You're not sure. But he
I'll
looks
just
softer.
stay hidden. Yeah.
Yeah.
How long does invisibility last?
Not
Long
long,
enough.
but I was hoping I could
Long enough. And he's...
just to get
Is-
up there and to secrete myself. Maybe druid craft some more vines around.
Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely. Absolutely. And you just sit there as you reappear, hidden away in the vines, and just watch him sleep for a while.
Creepy AF.
Yeah. No pictures.
Who would do that?
Weirdo.
Proper creepy.
I know who would do that. Yeah, for those watching, there's a few pictures of a few
You
of
don't
us.
need to tell the
I'm
internet.
trying to tell them. If anyone ever falls asleep at a meet, you get like a, oh look, here's a picture of you.
You say that like it's not always you.
Yeah, I was
It's
about to
always
say,
me.
I think it has.
If
never been
anybody
that.
falls asleep, yeah.
I always fall asleep because I get tired. Right. Yeah, a few hours pass. And you hear stirrings in the castle. Someone will come and knock on your doors. Or if you're stood outside a door asleep, they will gently wake you up and say, Prince Derendil has arranged for some food.
I will wake up with a war cry. Sorry.
This elf will be like, and when he realizes you're not attacking him, food,
And I'm apologising profusely. There.
food, if you will. I don't know where your small friend is. We can't find her.
Oh no, it's okay. I've got it. I'll let them know. Thank you.
The word is that they have left the decision up to you as to whether you bring your friend to the meal or not. You can have food sent to him, or you could bring him, but he will obviously meet the real Derendil. I will leave the decision to you, was the message I was asked to give.
Thank you. The message is received, and I hope you have a good day.
Thank you. You as well. Enjoy the food. And
Will
they will
do.
go and they will knock on. We'll find Sev and Serdi. And if you're not in the castle by this time, you'll probably see elves coming through the woods and the forest trying to find those of you to. And you'll smell the food. To be honest, you will smell the cooking and the baking. And even slightly sweet smells of dessert. Oh.
They don't need chains to keep me there. Let's bake some cake.
I'll knock on Derendil's door, but what is it? Freshly dawn? Is it still like?
Oh no,
kind
it's
of
even.
dusky out?
It's kind of twilight.
Twilight, so the light won't be too bright for me. Because part of the reason that
No.
I've been staying in the corridors is so I don't
Yeah,
have
I
to deal
thought-
with the outside.
I thought as much. Yeah, it's twilight. It's actually getting more and more comfortable by the minute for you.
I'll knock on the door, and if he lets me in, I'll try and lead him over to the balcony as an excuse to actually be able to see outside.
Okay. He doesn't stir and think you'll be watching him from the vines in the roof. You realise that he is actually sleeping. Not just lying there. But you hear the door. Yeah.
If the door
opens.
To Tink,
Yeah.
once we get a little bit further down the corridor, they've said that food, he can join if we think that's the right option. If not, food can be sent to him.
It's not our decision, is it?
No, but you do have some sway. We've got to think about what's right for him.
I think he just needs to sleep.
Okay. Well, you should go get some food. You can always bring some back for him. We
Take
can have
shift.
a little, yeah, and take a little tea party when he wakes up.
You won't let me stay here whilst you go get food. I have food, don't I?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Captain.
Thank you. I will flutter away.
Okay. So as was communicated, they did the feast is not in the grand hall. It is a quiet meal. It is still a beautiful room. This one has a table that would probably easily seat 20 or more, but one end of it is set for you all, and you do see the prince and princess sat waiting. They have a glass of wine, but in the center of the table you see a variety of beautifully cooked food. What looks like effectively a venison Wellington in the center that has been sliced and opened. You can see the pink meat inside. Sorry if you're a vegetarian. Just an absolute array of vegetables of various shapes and sizes. Some of them roasted, some of them boiled and salted. Small pots with sort of sweet smelling berries to accompany, and then just huge bowls of leafy salad and fresh fruit from the forest. They will stand as you approach, and Prince Derendil will say, "My friends, welcome. It is a modest feast, but I hope it will be to your liking. We weren't sure what you eat in the Underdark, so I apologise, but this is fine fare. I'm sure you'll enjoy. This is venison, and it's surrounded by mushrooms, and then mushrooms. I'm sure you know lots about those from where you've been, and then baked in pastry to perfection. Our chef is extremely talented. This is quite difficult, I understand, but it's one of my favourites. So please sit. How is your friend? Is he joining us?
He's resting. Forgive me, I appreciate your hospitality. No end, but what I might do is take a plate for him, for Grim, and not join you this evening, but I do have a question.
I will really,
so.
please bring your friend Grim. Please bring him. All of your friends. This is for everyone. We don't want you to go hungry. If your friend is resting, then there's no point in missing a meal. What the hell? We'll have the food taken upstairs, and we can go in one of the rooms next door. And you see the sister go, brother. It's like, well, what? They're worried about their friend. Let them be comfortable. We'll eat wherever. It all goes in the same hole. She's like, it's very rude. Fine, if you wish to, we can have the food moved if we really want to talk with all of you, if we can. Derendil will just stand and be like, right, we're moving the food. You and you see one of the commoner elves that is stood nearby, sort of waiting with the wine jug. Get the food. The guest is staying upstairs. We want all of the food in the room next door. 5 minutes. Please make it happen. And he will stand up, grab like a few glasses and a jug of wine. This is important, isn't it? And he'll pour a few glasses and hand them out to you. Come on, we'll go upstairs. Then your friend Grim can eat with us. And you see members of staff coming out and grabbing all of these huge platters and looking a little bit confused because this is not normally what gets requested, and begin carrying them behind you in procession. And they will literally drop it down. You see a few more members of staff appear with tables when they realise there's nowhere to put it, and then a few more with chairs. And you kind of end up spilling out into the corridor a little bit because there's not quite enough room.
And Grim would have stayed in the corridor anyway.
Yeah. So they will leave the door open. Probably be positioned by the door. The food is you can see that the princess is quite uncomfortable because this is a bit weird. She doesn't know the etiquette for this. But Derendil's just in his element, just, slicing the venison Wellington and handing it out. You really need to try this, Miss Tink. Miss Tink? Or Fane? You didn't really suggest a preference, but if you like Tink, Tink's fine. You should try this. That's probably a big slice for you, isn't it? Never mind. And Tanatal will... Sorry.
It's very clear why our friend spoke so highly of your family and fondly. You're very kind and generous and welcoming. And apologise you're not finding the best of us at this moment.
And Tanathel will say, I don't think you have anything to apologise for. I apologise for my... Well, I was harsh. I think you can understand why I was suspicious. I apologise. You seem good people. I appreciate you have a lot on your mind. But I am keen to understand where you've came from and why. I appreciate what you said about my brother, but this magical energy is concerning to me. If it can copy a person's memories, what else can it do?
Believe me, you were not. You just came across as cautious, not unkind. We know how we look, and we were half expecting to be attacked just on sight when we came through the portal.
It wasn't about how you looked. It was all of the bizarre things you were saying. They sounded preposterous, but they were the truth. So what have you seen? You talked of Blingden Stone and Gracklstugh. I've heard of Blingden Stone. Before my time, we would travel there from here. And we would travel to Gauntlet Grim. Gracklstugh not so much. I don't think we had active trade there. But things have quietened down. travel is less common. We've not used the teleportation circle for decades. So it was a surprise to have visitors here, but it's good to know that it still works. But enough about us. Tell us.
Well, the people of Blingdenstone were also kind and welcoming. They have struggled for their city, and we were fortunate enough to be able to help them.
You
With any
seem
luck,
kind people.
with any luck, they will be, relations between your kingdom and theirs can be opened up again. They seem to have hold of their city when we met.
And what took you to Blingdenstone? And indeed Gracklstugh? I recognise adventurers when I see them. You are not, you are all unique.
Slightly different story to my companions. They've already spoken of their escape from Valkenvelv. But I myself, at least the Serdi part of myself, entered the Underdark willingly. I was sent there, understanding that there was some incursion happening of some sort, an opening of a way between the Abyss and the Underdark, and I was sent to investigate.
The Abyss? Do you mean a chasm, or do you mean the Abyss?
I mean the Abyss. I
It's
didn't
just-
realise quite how bad it was, and that's what took us to Blingdenstone.
But it is resolved.
Sadly not. This you should be warned of. There is a large... For one, we encountered... I mean, do you know much of the people of the Abyss?
No. It's not something I've studied, but I could research if required. I could see what we have in the library.
My companions came across a creature called Gorgon.
Demi, Gorgon.
Gorgon, thank you. Brain went. And a town called Slubadook was destroyed.
Okay.
We also encountered Zugtmoy in Neverlight Grove.
Zugtmoy, I've heard of. Demon Lord, Queen.
Indeed.
You say you encountered. You were in the Abyss.
No, she is in the Underdark. She's aboard, as is the Demogorgon.
So Demogorgon and Zugtmoy is free in the Underdark.
Indeed. And we also encountered a succubus, polluting the ear of the king of Gracklstugh. And some comments, forgive me, about your brother. Will be better.
Sorry, Tom, I'm struggling to hear you.
Fortunately, the king of Gracklstugh is no longer under the sway of the succubus, and but the possibility that there are more aboard is still there.
And I see now why you were concerned that my brother might be a shape changer. Well, I can assure you I'm not. Look, I'm fine. I am me. How's your friend? I hope he's well. Is he joining us? I can't remember. You said he was resting. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous.
With any luck, it's confined to the Underdark, but all people should be aware and alert for anything untoward.
I will talk with my father in the morning and make sure that messages are sent to all of the major settlements. Yes, Waterdeep, Neverwinter. We'll get the word out. I'm sure. Gauntlegrim, of course. All of 10 towns. We'll ensure word gets out to the leaders of these cities. This is serious. It does sound serious. Tell me, Derendil will say, what can we do to help you? It sounds like, are you looking for a home, or are you looking to travel somewhere? It sounds like you've had an ordeal, and I can understand you want some peace. So, what do you need?
One of the things that we might need, it's not too much to ask, is support. There's a madness that's spreading more than just the demons and whatnot. There may be a war, and if there's a rot in the ground, that rot spreads to the trees, and it will get here eventually.
Tanathel will say, if these... do we know if it's a gateway to the abyss, or... Well, it must be some kind of gateway. Do we know who opened this gateway? Two demon lords in the material plane at once is unheard of. This is most concerning. But someone must have done this, allowed it to happen.
We are yet to discover. We do not know yet. But I think we have several lines of inquiry. And Captain, should we ask on Elder?
Muted?
You're muted.
She's not muted, it's just not coming through.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ask about Oldif.
We have a companion that fell on our journey to Blingdenstone from Gauntlegrim. We did wish to return her. We've kept her body preserved in the hopes that she can be brought back, but either way, we would return her to Gauntlegrim and her people. And perhaps warn the people there ourselves of what's abroad. Perhaps they've already experienced something. They're obviously closer connected to the Underdark than you are yourselves.
Tanathel will... Well, we can... I'll have a look through my library. I may have a scroll to raise the dead. I mean, they are expensive. But it sounds like you've been through a lot. I'm sure we could do it at a discount. And Derendil were like, no. Fine, brother. Yes, I'm sure we could help. If I have it, I will check. As for sending her home, it appears the circle is working. So I could send you to Gauntlegrim if that's where you wish to go. You do.
We've got a fight that we need to be part of. We can't
Fight?
escape it.
You're going to fight these demon lords.
We'll
Well,
look for a way. If one
not the Lords,
exists.
then we can at least fight what they send.
we can lend our aid. We won't be alone, I expect. Even some of the less friendly peoples of the Underdark are likely to object to that kind of incursion.
Derendil, he's sort of sat there listening to you, and he smiles. Well, you just seem like the kind of people I'd be friends with, if I'm honest. We will do what we can. This sounds like a serious threat that could threaten the whole realm. My sister has alluded we can send you to Gordon Grim. I think we could send you back to Blingdenstone if you so wished. And we would not charge you. And he looks at her kind of accusingly. Likewise, if you're fearful of incursion here, we can send you through the Feywild. Although, if you are not an experienced traveller, although I'm sure Miss Tink is experienced in such places, it can be treacherous, but the choice is yours. But yes, we will do what we can. We will get message out. If you wish to travel somewhere, my sister will see if she can teleport you there. And we will see if we can find something to help your deceased friend. None of you are eating very much. Please, please.
It's just the colours putting me off a little bit, but it's okay.
It's meant to be pink.
Very good, Sev. I can't partake myself, but I remember what it tastes like. Forgive me for not eating, Your Highness. I no longer need it.
It's fine. Anything that's not eaten will be distributed. It's fine. It's fine. So, the meal continues. Sorry.
I was just going to say, it's quite the somber occasion anyway, so nobody's really kind of merrymaking, I would imagine.
A lot on our minds.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Derendil is trying his best to lift the mood, but I think after a while he realizes that perhaps he just needs to let you be in your thoughts, let you process what's happened, and he will after an hour and a half, 2 hours, he's like, it's we should go on the balcony and take a glass of wine. I think perhaps the view may refresh you as much as the food and drink. And he will stand and walk to the balcony. And those of you that follow to go take a look, you will see now, you see the outline of the forest, the height of the trees, you see the waterfall glistening in a very faint light. Those of you with dark vision will have no trouble seeing. And up above the trees, you see this kind of millions of pinpoints of light, this kind of river of stars through the sky. And you see the moon round and full. And a piece on one side is shattered, and then you see almost like a trail leading away from the moon. And Derendil points up and says, look, that you see this comet below the trail of stars. This first came around when I was born, 254 years, and it returns this year. It's supposed to be a good omen. Maybe it speaks of a positive outcome to your predicament. I know things are hard, but there's always hope when there's people like you in the world. So if you need anything, just ask, and it's yours. And we will leave it there.
So sad.
Well played, everyone. Sorry, I know it was a bit heavy. Is everyone okay?
I guess you knew all about that, Tom.
Yeah.
That was even worse than the first time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
But
Wow.
yeah, well played. And I've known that all along. So every time you've ever talked about things, it's been like, I've been going like, oh. So I'm sorry. I hope it was okay.
That's good.
But
Still
you all,
the big bad.
sorry?
He could still be the big bad.
I know you don't trust
Let's hope so.
Yeah. Forgot Hazel was shipping him as the big bad.
Yeah.
But what I would like to say, above table, as you like to say, is that I want to give you all inspiration because I thought it was beautifully role played. The things you said to him, the way you communicated with him, I think were beautiful. And I'm not going to make you wait till next week. You reached him. You said something that reached him. So all of you. So well done. Please, if you haven't got inspiration, please add it. Thank you for watching. Those of you that are watching, thank you, Davey. Davey wants any leftovers from Serdy's plate. I don't blame you, Davey. Venison Wellington
Sounds
does
amazing.
sound pretty amazing. I would like to
I'm
try
so
that.
hungry. I'm always hungry after a D&D session. I can't think why. It's probably because we describe in such great detail the most amazing food for 3 hours.
Not that we're food-oriented people, but we seem to spend a lot of time eating and talking about eating.
Not that we're food-oriented people, but we are. You've met us. So yes. So thank you. Thanks for watching. Thank you for playing. We will be back next week, and I promise it will be more uplifting.
We will be more stupid. Back to normal.
So thank you, and good night. Bye-bye.